House prices are through the roof, buyers are going crazy. I mean, this dingy looking house sold in a day for $130,000 above the asking price. So the question is this a good time to sell? Well, just because house prices are going up faster than Bitcoin is dropping doesn't mean you should sell, but it also means that you should. So it's a no and a yes, and well, it kind of really just depends. But in this video, we're going to talk about some of the top things you need to consider to help you determine when is a good time to sell. And then we're going to play a game running some scenarios as to who should and should not sell in this market coming up. So selling a house should not be something you do off the whim in the middle of the night because you're pissed off that you just paid a plumber $950 to make a repair. No, here are some things you need to consider. 1. Taxes. This alone could be a determining point. Now for this, you need to ask, is the property in question a primary residence or is it an investment property? Now simplified, a primary residence for tax purposes is defined as a property that you occupied for at least 2 years during the past 5 years immediately before the sale. And it doesn't really matter where those 2 years land within that 5-year period. For example, if you bought the property and occupied it for the first 3 years and then rented it out for the last 2, it can still be considered a primary residence. Now, what this means and why this is such a big deal is that under Section 121 of the IRS code, you could be exempt from paying capital gains tax on a gain of up to $250,000 if you're single and $500,000 if you're married, which is amazing and probably one of the biggest tax benefits most people will get in their lifetime. Now, for more information on this, make sure to check out my other video, America's Biggest Tax Break, and I'll put a link right above if you're watching on YouTube. Now, if the property in question is defined as an investment property and you're in California, you could be subject to state and federal capital gains tax, which can be over 25% or much less, and it really depends on various factors, including your income bracket, how you sell the property, and when you decide to sell. For example, maybe next year you're gonna retire and your income is gonna drop dramatically. At this point, a tax person may recommend that you wait till your income disappears so you can pay less in capital gains tax. Or they may recommend that you sell as part of a 1031 exchange so you can defer or potentially avoid paying capital gains tax. But the point is that before you decide to sell your house, talk to a tax person. Also under taxes, another thing to consider are property taxes. If you bought your property, let's say 20 years ago, what you pay in property taxes today is a lot less than what a typical buyer would pay, as property taxes are kind of based on the purchase price at the time of purchase. So if you buy a new property, you could lose what they call your property tax base and see property taxes go up with your new purchase. So before you sell your property and run off to buy another, consider property taxes. Now, if you're 55 years or older, there is Proposition 19 that may allow you to transfer your old and lower property tax base to another property in California. And my final thing on taxes, disclaimer, I'm not a tax expert, this is not tax advice, and I could very well not know what the heck I'm talking about. And number 2, another thing to consider is, can you qualify for a mortgage? To which you're probably thinking like, whoa, Daniel, we're talking about selling. Yes, but if you plan on buying something else and you're not buying it cash, you don't want to end up selling and find out that you can't qualify for a mortgage to purchase the replacement property that you had in mind. So before you go out there and dump your property because the market is hot, make sure you can qualify for a mortgage or get pre-approved for that replacement property. Thing number 3 to consider, what is the purpose of the property you own? Is it a vehicle for retirement, a place to call home until you die, a stepping stone to something better, an investment, or a fund for your children's tuition? Knowing the purpose will bring clarity as to when is the best time to sell. And with this in mind, we also want to consider something important about real estate. It offers no guarantees, except prices will go up and prices will go down. And for more information on this, make sure to check out my other video on property values in Los Angeles in the past 30 years. I'll put a link right above. But briefly, in the past 30 years, property values in general in Los Angeles have gone down twice. First, a small decline in the mid-1990s, and then a ridiculous freak of nature we messed up drop in 2008. But the point is, prices go up and they go down. Real estate is cyclical. Now, why am I mentioning this simple truth? Because acknowledging this along with knowing the purpose of your property can help you determine when is the best time to sell. For example, if the property was a vehicle for retirement and you plan on retiring in the next 2 years, you should probably sell now while the market is hot, because if property values drop, it could historically take several years to get back up, and that may force you to sell when it's low. On the other hand, to draw a different comparison, I've been investing in stocks for retirement, which I don't see happening for at least another 30 years. Now, stocks are really high right now, but really that means nothing to me. I mean, the S&P 500 can do whatever the heck it wants for the next 25 years. I'm not going to sell. Similarly, if the purpose of your property is long-term, who cares what the house is worth? Don't sell. So knowing the purpose of the property and understanding that real estate is cyclical is important to helping you determine the best time to sell. And for the other things to consider, let's play a game. Sell or no sell. We'll run different scenarios and determine who should sell and should not sell their house in this market. Now, to help us, we're going to use the fictional characters of Mary and Rob, which I got from Mary and Rob's Cafe in Westwood, where I just had the best breakfast burrito of my life. But anyway, sell or no sell. Mary's 37 years old. She owns and lives in a house in Venice Beach with $350,000 in equity. She has no money saved for retirement, and she wants to sell her house because, according to her, the market is hot and she wants to enjoy life and buy more stuff like a boat. Sell or no sell? Mary, Jesus Christ, no, don't sell. Look, if the Insta world is getting to you, just rent a boat for like an hour, take your photos and save that money. Just because prices are high doesn't mean you should sell the house. And if you do need like a little bit of extra cash, consider refinancing and cashing out a little bit. Really, if you're gonna cash out refinance, it should be to make upgrades to the property or build an ADU for extra income. Mary, invest in that retirement. Sell or no sell? Rob has a triplex in Culver City that he does not live in. He wants to sell it to buy a bigger property and grow his portfolio. He has about $300,000 in equity. Sell or no sell? Rob, don't sell the property. Selling should be your last resort. Like, if growing the portfolio is the go and you don't totally hate the property you have, one, look into the option of refinancing, cashing out, and seeing if the numbers make sense to buy another property without selling the one that you have. Two, if at the end it makes sense to sell, do a 1031 exchange, which is basically selling and buying another property, but under certain IRS rules. Do this and you could potentially save around $100,000 in capital gains tax. And finally, if that doesn't make sense and you just need to cash out, then yes, at this point, sell the property, but only after you've talked to a tax person. Sell or no sell? Mary's having a hard time making the mortgage payments on her house in Santa Monica. Her situation hasn't improved in the past 4 months, and she doesn't foresee things getting better anytime soon. She tried negotiating new terms with her bank, but nothing good really came of it. She has $350,000 in equity. Sell or no sell? Mary, sell that house. Like, your attachment to the property may not only cause you to lose it, but also lose any equity you have. Sell the property, downsize, and give yourself some financial breathing room to improve your situation. Sell or no sell? Rob wants to sell and buy a bigger house, but is concerned that property values are high and that the market might crash. Sell or no sell? Rob, sell that house. If you already have a house, your biggest incentive right now are the crazy low interest rates. You have to consider that if prices drop on the house you want to buy, that means prices dropped on the one that you plan to sell, so you're pretty much right back where you started. The people most affected by high prices are mostly first-time buyers who can't rely on funds from a house being sold. Sell or no sell? Mary's retired. She lives in a house in Westwood that's paid off, but she's living on Social Security income or practically no income at all. She's thinking about selling, moving to Arizona, downsizing to a $250,000 property. Sell or no sell? Mary, sell that house. Property values may go up if you wait, but they may also go down, and losses are greater than gains. And you're likely to be more pissed off if you wait and prices go down than if you wait and prices go up. So Mary, sell that house, get yourself a boat, and live the best days of your life. Just kidding, don't get a boat. But yes, this is one of the ideas of buying a property as a retirement vehicle. The idea that eventually prices will go up, you'll sell it, downsize, and enjoy a better retirement. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think about the scenarios. Do you agree, disagree? Would you add anything else to them? Feel free to put it in the comments below. But as you can see, just because the market is hot doesn't mean you have to sell. It's going to vary and depend on each person's situation. By the way, my name is Daniel Rangel. I'm a real estate agent in Los Angeles. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. And if you're not in Los Angeles, I do have a network of real estate agents all over the country that I can connect you with. But either way, thanks a bunch for watching.